Hey guys, just thought I'd make a quick little video here. Oops. Yeah, this is my TV. Uh, little brief announcement about all these side projects and side hustles I've got going on, and these deals that I've been making, all these wonderful, relationships, business or otherwise, that I've been having. New car, all that, yeah. Are you ready to see some of the, are you ready to see? Are you ready to have great music? Are you ready to have fun? Are you ready to have fun? I'm asking you right now. Are you, yeah. Here's the thing. You can say, like, I'm not anything that I ever wanted or dreamed of or desired or feared. I was listening to this Indian guy today on the internet. Don't worry, he wasn't a scammer, I don't think. But he made me think, he was like some philosopher, Maju something. He's got a really long name. He's like that one producer in the credits of Family Guy where it's like longer than the alphabet, his name. Total 7-Eleven name. But he's a guru, as a lot of notable Indians are. They invented two of the most polar opposite religions that the world has known. And from that, they've had a long line of gurus, right? And now being a guru is a very popular thing to be on the internet. They've somehow, white people have kind of co-opted that into capitalism, into their own systems, and so on and so forth. And it's really fascinating to see how we've kind of taken Eastern cultures and philosophies and just sort of adapted them to fit our own interests. And I talk to you today not as a Caucasian because, I choose not to identify, and technically I'm mixed race, if you really want to do a deep dive into my ancestry, but that is not the subject of this video. The subject of this video is who I am and who I am not. More importantly, who I am not. And what this guru was discussing, I'll remember his name. One of his quotes was, "You can only find out who you are through elimination, through finding out who you're not. You never find out who you are, you only find out who or what you're not." And as I went around, I was looking at everything perceivable, concrete, matter, material, the imagination being the same more or less as the Father, the imagination, the Son, the material, right? This is how metaphysicians describe this reality. So you got the Father in the imagination and the Son in our daily perception that the body can identify with. And the whole is the Holy Spirit. That's the whole. That's the thing you cannot go against in any, because you're either imagining something or you're either imagining something that you've already experienced or are going to experience, or which is in itself a present experience, or you're experiencing something in the present that you're currently imagining or did imagine subconsciously or will imagine in the future. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's an inversion, and it's a dualistic perspective that in itself it doesn't sum up the completeness, and yet it is complete because within every piece is the whole, and within the whole is every piece. Right? That's what was known to me as a synecdoche. You guys may recall that if you're a long-time subscriber of my channel, I used to have this video up called A Review of Synecdoche, New York. The reason I took that video down, along with many other of my videos, was because I was just too young to be making videos, and I rewatched them, and I was like, my voice is cracking, and I was like, and if I were a parent of mine, I would be like, okay, we can't have this on the internet. You know, there's a lot of red dots, you know, around this neighborhood, if you dig what I'm saying. I'm not talking about Indians, by the way. Don't get that. The other red dots. The red dots that show up on a list, okay? The sex offender registry, that's what the joke was about. Anyway, and I really hate the fact that every comedy special I've watched, by the way, it's like almost all of them, there's like a subsect of Christian comedy that isn't dirty and it's all clean humor and it's actually funny, some of it. But it's like all mainstream comedy, it's like everything's about a sex joke and it all has profanity. I'm not even against these things. I use them myself, as I just did, or as I just remembered myself doing. But I understand why people grow weary of it and grow tired of it. It's like when you notice a pattern long enough, you kind of start to build a little inner resistance towards it. And resistance is strength. I've been thinking about the word resist is an anagram of sister. I don't know what that, it doesn't mean anything. My point, I just noticed that. Because that's who I am. I'm a word guy, and, you know, the word was God. It's like one of the first things written in the Bible, in the Torah. It's, you know, Jesus mentions it several times. It's probably the most clear-cut, concise, and straightforward way to understand reality that you could possibly, by just focusing on your words. Whether they're imagined, or in your head, listened to, outside and influencing you, or you speak them to yourself daily. And one of the things that this guru and so many others have taught me, have learned me, and probably learned from me, to be honest, is this idea of just going right back to I am, which is the name of God, I found out. It's his name. So whatever you say after the two words I am, well, in English it's two words. In Russian it's one letter, it's ya. In Dutch it's ich bin. In French it's je. In German it's ich bin. In Japanese it's watashi wa. In, I know about 17 languages of it. What else? You know, it's besides the point. I'm not here to flex on how smart or wise or intelligent I am. I am none of those things. And to tell you the truth, this is kind of what I'm having a hard time displaying in this video, but I've been a liar. I'm Jacob the liar. I've lied. I've lied my entire life about who I am, about my identity. I don't have a clear identity. I don't know who I am. I don't know what life is about or what it is for. And I'm confessing this to you because, you know, I don't care anymore. I never cared, and I've always said that. But I'm invoking strong emotions within me right now. Some people call them a shadow self. Some people call them an id, or like, you know, something that's been held back, or like a block. The thing is, with fear and psychosis and mental disorders, none of these things actually exist unless you put them there. But the irony of it is, resistance kind of draws your focus to them, which, again, I'm not going to get into whether that's morally right or not. That's not what this is about. But again, like, there's something, I've been fasting, I've been working out, I've been applying discipline, and there's a point in your life when you're doing that, and there's also a point where you're just a glutton and a fanatic and a retard and just, you know, you're not smart, you're not wise, you're stupid, you're fucking, you're just all pleasure and no pain. And then some parts of your life are all pain and very little pleasure. Yeah, like, let's be real, man. Like, I'm a hoe. I have no integrity. I have nothing. I have no safety net to call my own. I have no home to call my own. I have no, you know, like, I don't have a #1 trending comedy special. I don't have a beautiful car. I don't have a lovely mansion that I bought and paid for without any loans. I don't have a perfect credit score. I'm not perfect. You know, I stumble and I stutter and I exaggerate. And I exaggerate my height and I exaggerate my expressions, and I exaggerate my wealth, and I exaggerate the things I say about myself daily to make myself feel better about this miserable fucking world that we live in with war and death and disease. I satiate my appetites with class and highfalutin ideas and pitchforked tongues and fucking and cameras that don't fucking work properly because they're all blurred up and barely fucking stabilize automatically. Even if you slap them around a couple times, still looks like shit. I have a fat face. I have no fucking chin to speak of. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a drug addict. I'm a fucking junkie. And I'm a disappointment to my family and my friends who have invested heavily emotionally in me off of good faith and have backed me. And I've cheated people. And I was not good on my payments. And I've robbed and stolen from people, and I've sexually harassed people in public, and I've been a piece of shit, 100%. And I talk shit about basically everybody who's been loyal to me in my entire life. So yeah, you guys want the truth, there it is. Now, I'm just there to kind of lay it out, because that's also not who I am. It's not. But you find that out in life. You find out not who you are, but who you're not. And I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not an investor. I'm not an entrepreneur. I've achieved nothing in my entire life. I've never been in love. I am not love itself. I am not perfection. I am never chosen. I was never chosen for the volleyball team. At recess, I was the last kid picked because my name was Chris Shit. And I was always treated better than, like I was some fucking genius. I wasn't. The first half of your childhood, they call you gifted. The second half, they call you autistic. Isn't that the biggest fucking joke? The first half of your life, they tell you that you achieve anything until you start talking about the Jews or like the wrong people. I'm just using them as an example. About the elites, about people who actually need to be taken down a notch, And until you start having big dreams, regardless of the repercussions of those dreams, be them positive or negative, because it's always somewhere in the middle, right? The people who blow smoke up everybody's asses, they often don't realize how much damage they're actually causing people, how many schizos and psychos are just waiting to have all their fucking, to have hope. Right? And hope is the cheapest thing you could possibly sell somebody. But these are all limiting beliefs that I've carried around for many years because of my animosity towards my parents and religion and the government and the state and cops and authority figures and teachers and academics and their slaves and easy sellouts. And people have just chosen the path of least resistance, right? The path of least resistance. Where has that gotten them? Well, according to statistics now, most companies don't even want college graduates. The people who have worked the hardest, they don't want them. The people most deserving of a regular shot, they don't want them. People who try, they don't want them. They don't want the tryhards, even though those are the ones making all the fucking gains, personally. So I guess there's a silver lining in that sort of thing. I've been an overachiever. And I've been lazy. I've been a bum. I've been everything at some point. And all that's taught me is that I'm nothing. I'm nothing. I'm a know-nothing. I'm an idiot. I'm Dostoevsky's The Idiot. That's what I am. I've never even read that fucking book. I probably never will because I'm a fucking idiot. And dumb. That's it. As I say and I say like a fucking Valley Girl. Fucking Gavin Newsom over here. And I infantilize black people as a liberal, and I call them the N-word as a conservative, just depending on which side of the scales I happen to tip on. Whatever fits my mood in that particular moment. I treat women like royalty. I'm a total simp and romantic, while on the other hand, I have to keep them in line. I have to use my backhand every so often if they get lippy with me. Because that's discipline. That's laying down the laws. And what law exists? What law exists? I want to be a rebel. I want to join the cause. I want to be important to somebody, even if it's for a fleeting moment. Knowing it's not going to last. Knowing I'm a fool. But I also want to ride the tide. A rising tide lifts all boats, doesn't it? I've seen the fruits of my labor transpire, but what are they but illusion? Maya, what are they? Nothing. They're nothing. I'm nothing. You know, I asked someone the other day, have you ever been a chair? And they just look at me, exactly as you would look at me. What the fuck are you talking about? And I thought it was the most poignant question that's ever been posed. Because I've been thinking about that materially, because for a long time I've carried around not subconscious, fuck that, but just a belief that because of all the dirt that I remember and recall doing, not only am I not worthy of religion or being saved or happiness in general, but, and really I'm not that, again, that's what I'm not. Not only am I not worthy of anything, good or bad, but I'm also tied to the physical plane forever because of these things, because they're attachments. And when we focus on attachments, what happens? They expand. We become reliant on them. As we grow older, as our skin starts to deteriorate, our teeth fall out, our hair falls out, you know. Or maybe we get lucky and we get hit by a bus or a train or just something quick, you know. We get to go out like a fucking Mitch Hedberg or one of these guys. Just name them. I was paranoid for a whole year because I was 27 and I thought I was going to join the club. And now I'm like, it wouldn't have been a bad thing. Not the worst fucking club. The 27 Club, honestly, one of the most legendary and iconic clubs of all time you could possibly join. I mean, shit. Gotta wait till 33. Yeah, that's the other one that they don't tell you about. And who even comes up with this shit anyway? Is it me? Is it just me? Is it just me here? Or do I have to create people? Do I have to take an empty vessel of a man or woman and just fill them with all my ideas and just project all my insecurities, projectile vomit all of my hopes and dreams, insecurities, and they just look at me like I'm whatever I want them to be. I just mold them. Or maybe they're molding me, I don't know. But